everybody. Howdy. Shapiro here. You're live. Yeah, we are live. Not sure if I want to let that much daylight behind me. Am I a little backlit? How about that? It's great to see that there's more daylight, folks. And hey, thanks for tuning in to this bullshit, not the National Press Correspondent. The press conference going on right now, because 7 p.m. here, Tuesday, the 23rd of March, and that means that, first of all, it is springtime. Hey, Ziads, Almeida represent. So, yeah, it's great. Thank you for joining. And if you want to watch the press conference in the background, then, yeah, I'm great. I'm still negative for Corona, as far as I know, but also negative for the vaccine, and really not looking at any possibility of getting vaccinated. So, yeah. That's what's bothering me.
Too young.
I know. Yeah, right. Oh, and I need you. For for a quick shot to make this video. Yeah.
I have to go to the hairdresser first.
No, I want you just the way you are. That's the problem. Yeah. So right now we've got a whole mess of trouble with the vaccine numbers popping up, creeping up again in the Netherlands, but big time in Germany, where apparently Angela Merkel was like ready to. She created the expectation that she would be doing the Versoepeling, but. So they're cracking down. France is maybe going to get this. Like in the Netherlands, we might be able to ease the curfew back from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And they're also talking about easing the curfew in France from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Oh, oui. It's nuts. It's painful, for me doing the United States of Europe, because I'm trying to be positive about Europe. And I love to poke fun at the UK for leaving the EU, but it sure looks like they're vaccinating more of their people. Yeah. Hey, bonsoir to Spiker Poos. That is great. Spiker Poos, what is that? Spiker is nail, Poos is cat, and
Poos is a female cat.
Female. Oh, okay. I can only ever imagine either a cat hammering a nail.
Species.
Or, yeah.
And you have a Poos is the female.
Yeah.
A kater is the male.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Oh, okay. I always wondered, like anime lover Nicole. I figured Nicole. I don't want to be gender based, but you get an idea of what. Spiker Poos. So Poos is a female feline, and a kater. Gee, that's right. And kater is also a hangover. I don't know. Working on that. Anyway, what am I missing from the old? I keep bumping the damn tripod. Sorry about that. The press conference. Yeah. We don't know. I use a latest video together and have that up tomorrow. I hope my feed is doing well. I'm here following my other device, and that one is quite slow. So, and we don't need it. This is actually to hold my laptop if I need it. Is that better? This is everyone. Welcome to Feng Shui Backgrounds with me, Bob Ross Shapiro. Right. Again, shoot. I'm check. Yeah, that's frozen. This device is frozen. No, I don't know. Maybe everybody's on the press conference.
We have problems with Zigo.
All right. Oh, we have problems with Zigo? What if You're alive. Hi, Schliver, you're there. Great. I've actually managed to pop out. This is the first time I've managed to pop out of YouTube, go turn off my Wi-Fi, and now I'm just on 5G. So we'll try that. Hopefully, I'm not max headrooming at the moment. It's nuts the way I've been doing, these. Oh, yeah, we know about the bad connection. Hopefully, it's better now. Sorry, Spiker Poos. But yeah, I've been doing a couple of events for celebrating 1 year of lockdown, 1 year of working from home. And it's amazing to me how at 1 year, this is the new normal. We still haven't figured out how to deal with basic streaming issues. It should be better. Thank you for pointing that out. Because I've ditched my Wi-Fi. I've gone to just 5G. And even though everybody at these Zoom events where I'm like hosting or doing guest speaker role, even though it's all on Zoom and the organizer is like, oh, why don't you just, take part via Zoom from your home? Surely you'd prefer to not leave the comfort of your own home. And that's when I say, I'd rather be at your office if that's possible. Oh, yeah, we have this pop-up studio. Great. So that when there is problem with the streaming, then instead of the host saying like, I bet Shapiro has poor Ziggo, poor internet connection, or cheap Wi-Fi. First of all, I upgraded both of those. But instead of them wondering like, oh, maybe Shapiro's Wi-Fi is weak, instead I can say like, I'm at your office. So instead of, bothering me, why don't you go bother Stanley from IT? And that has happened a couple of times now. And they're like, oh yeah, you just need to like plug straight into this Ethernet cable or whatever. Like, so hopefully that is better. Another thing that I can't believe we haven't really learned yet is back-to-back Zoom meetings. My kids are doing with school, at least they schedule some breaks in there. But I think too many people are like, oh, great, we don't need to budget time in between meetings. We can just go from one meeting into the next. So you have like 2 minutes downtime between one meeting and the next. That's not enough time. You need time to let your meeting digest and settle and get ready for the next meeting. But surely we can learn to go back to the previous way that we were scheduling meetings. Like, you meet for 45 minutes and then you kind of look at the watch, look at the clock, wrap it up with 10 minutes to go. And then that's your hour is actually 45 or 50 minutes max. And now the hour is like 58, 59 minutes and then right into the next meeting. And that's why everybody is going crazy. Yeah. Anyway, so I see I'm missing some of your questions here. I'll try to get to those. Okay, so it seems like the 5G is working better than Wi-Fi at the moment. That is good. And, all right, that's better. Hi to Andy Dufresne as well. Andy Dufresne sounds a lot like Andy Dufresne. And why, whatever, you can always make a Shawshank Redemption reference, right? Okay. Oh, lockdown. Yes, it's the 1 year, and it's the 1 year 10th anniversary. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I was happy with that joke that I made a couple videos ago. It's the 1 year anniversary. What do you get for a 1 year anniversary? Oh, that's right, paper. And on the paper, I had a big middle finger drawn. Should have used that joke for the video that people actually did watch. But it's the vagaries. The next video that I'm putting together now is more in the vein of like a TikTok video, trying to explain the EU vaccine situation. So we'll see how that comes out, how that is received by the algorithm. I've also heard, or I read in Wired magazine, that TikTok does a better job of rewarding early, or like smaller, more niche content they do a better job of like promoting, makers who are, or content makers who are more regular, even if their numbers are smaller, and then like promoting them actually, which is something that YouTube seems to not do. So I don't know. I'd rather not join TikTok because I'm kind of China-phobic. My neighbor is from China. He papered over his windows. Yeah. He's like, I don't want that. I have to guard my privacy. Like, come on. You're not like a dissident or anything. You're just a Chinese guy living outside of China. And he's like, paper over my windows. You're not necessarily paranoid if they really are all out to get you. That said, I would love to show you, my background out my windows, but I don't want people knowing where I live, especially now in the Netherlands. We've got this vizier op links. Have you heard about this? Left-leaning journalists, commentators, politicians have been getting stickers and flyers at their places of work and the places where they live, with text in Dutch saying, vision on the left. So we're keeping an eye on the left. So basically, we are the new right wing of the Netherlands and we know where you live. So yeah, that's unsettling. A friend of mine is working in the Dutch parliament. And so he got one. He's from D66, not necessarily left wing. But anyway, yeah, typical right-wing goonery, I suppose. Yeah, I did tweet about that the other day. Anyway, we'll see if I get more questions here. What do you think? Okay. Thank you, Schlipper. Wait, I suddenly cleared up. Okay. Great, all is well. I love that. All right, so wait, what do I think? Lisa Rose, that's okay. Liza Rose, no, Lisa Rose. What do you think of the anti-vaccine and the anti-lockdown folks and the protests? There's actually a pretty fun video that was on Dutch TV last night, made by Ruud Smulders, and they put it on the Vooravond, the show. But in the vein of sensation and sensation white, this video basically showed that the only festival experience that you can attend legally right now is demonstration. And like, demonstration white. But then they just showed these protests at the Museumplein in Amsterdam, Malieveld in The Hague, different Utrecht, different cities. And there's like theater, and what do you know? There's kind of someone on stilts. There's spoken word, of course. There's spoken word. People in costumes. So yeah, it's kind of more like this festival atmosphere. So what do I think of them? The COVIDiots, if you will. It's too bad. Vaccine hesitancy is. I mean, if that's the worst thing we have to deal with right now is people who don't want the vaccine. That would be a nice problem to have. And yet, I still have seen a couple of articles that seem to contradict each other. And they're like both from the same source. But one says that Germany can't get enough AstraZeneca vaccine. They're only getting 30% of what they were promised at this point. But then the other one says that Germany has a lot of vaccines that are just sitting unused because people don't want them. And there was, especially with AstraZeneca, there was that mixed message about like, well, maybe it shouldn't be used it's not as effective for people over 65. And that message was apparently received loud and clear. And so they're not, getting the the AstraZeneca, but then they have to wait for the other one. And I don't know. So there's,
They're doing better than the Netherlands.
Germany's doing better than,
Now they're third down.
Netherlands was gaining ground, and now seems to. If I could go protest I don't know where I'd go protest effectively. Yeah, right. We'll take the vaccine. the Netherlands needs to do better at gaining some ground. The good news is that, sorry, so if I could go protest, I wouldn't protest with the COVIDiots. And someone said, like, anti-vax. Anti-vax is so negative. Can we just say pro-virus, pro-plague? I'm thinking if you don't want the vaccine, then don't take the vaccine. And we should up the ante. If you don't want the vaccine for corona, then you should also like have a transfusion where they remove the vaccine that you also received against measles and polio and smallpox and like bubonic plague. So good luck. That's that's my theory. And then with the transfusion, they still put a chip in there. So anyway, but yeah, I guess that's what I think about that. I'm making slowly a video about that too. But all right, what else? So let's see. Oh, so Spikerboost says, I'm having my hands full of getting rid of Baudet ads and suggestions on YouTube. Why are you getting ads for Thierry Baudet and Forum for Democracy? It is weird. Why? How do they do that?
Because you watch them.
Maybe you do if you watch them ironically. Like, the algorithm doesn't know. They just keep pitching you that same stuff. Don't watch those things even ironically. All right. So, oh yeah, the chair in the background is more like the bedroom in Arla. That is true. It's like a Van Gogh. Same source contradicting itself the worst possible. Yeah. Let's see. Read the comments beneath this vid. My own vid? Okay, I will. And Farkstein says, I'll take any vaccine. I agree. I'll take any vaccine. Let's see. I checked with my dad, who he's in Chicago. He's got 2 vaccines. He's got both shots at this point from Pfizer, I believe. My half-brother, who lives in Los Angeles, he is teaching part-time at the university there. So he got himself vaccinated. Both, I think he's getting his second shot this week. So he's like slowly getting used to the idea. Like, I think I can go hug people again. And I'm jealous. So, I mean, that's what's at stake. That, America's reopening. They've got a huge, a huge rescue plan and maybe like a infrastructure bill, coming. And I don't know what we're doing over here. It's not great. Anyway, all right, some actual questions coming in now. And did you get a chip? There's, that reminds me of the video from Jeff Wright. Jeff Wright now on Twitter. He's now writing for Saturday Night Live. From Late Night with Seth Meyers. He made a joke about that in his latest video. It's pretty funny. He was like, why'd you have to inject a chip? And like, that was a chocolate chip. I was trying to end hunger. It was such a throwaway joke, but I like that one. All right. So Haya put a emoji on there, and I can't tell what that is. I'm assuming it's some kind of erection, but that's fine. Are you worried about the rise of far right in NL and Europe in general? Here we go. I tweeted about this earlier, and I mean, it's a good question. I'd like to not be that worried because in the Netherlands, it's like, oh yeah, the far right, I guess it seems like there were some people from left-wing SP, Socialist Party, who went over to Forum for Democracy, so basically fascist. And I'll get to Volt in a minute. And Meghan Markle, sure. But so far right taking over, I can't help think about, oh yeah, someone talked about like McCarthyism, the Red Scare in America in the 50s. And it's so odd that America spent most of the 1940s beating the Nazis and fascism, which is right wing, and then got overly worried about left wing stuff and communism, I guess. But that's because there was like organized state communism from Russia at that point. and good reason to be afraid. I think I'm not as scared of far right stuff as long as there's no equal threat from the far left, like communism, because then, or totalitarianism, basically, yeah, because then we get kind of pinched or caught in the middle. And if people were so scared about like, oh, I don't want to be communist, then you end up swinging like too far toward fascist, and now you might as well say, yeah, we might as well swing back to the left because there's no danger of going too far to the left. It's not like, oops, we're communist now. Oops, we're socialist now. And to the left. I mean, they had a good chart and the Dutch voting guide. And they got, like get left, right, you got progressive and conservative. And there are two different axes to take into consideration. I'm not so much about left, right. I'm more about like progressive versus conservative, I think. But anyway, so I voted for D66, if you must know. Got friends who work in that party, and I was kind of excited about old Sigrid dancing on the table. But it seems like they had a pragmatic approach to getting something done with the climate, which is my top concern. Why didn't you vote for Green Links or the Greens or the Partij for the Dieren? And yeah, didn't think that they were going to get a seat at the table, and so I kind of voted strategically there. Anyway, but so Royale with chips that's funny. And okay, so getting back to what did I think of Meghan Markle? I did talk about this a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I think that Meghan Markle, she went to Northwestern University, my alma mater, so I guess I'm biased, but it sure seems like the British royal family maybe needed a bit of a wake-up call, little shake-up, and I guess she was just the right person to give it to them. So, good for her. Good for, Prince Harry, for taking her out of that, basically life-threatening situation. But anyway, I don't agree that she's Princess Pushy or whatever they called her. And yeah, but still, we have a big mystery as to why the relationship between the tabloids and the celebrities and royal family in the UK, why is that so toxic? Whereas there's a similar relationship between tabloids in the Netherlands, royal family in the Netherlands, but it's not quite so toxic. So anyway, that's what I think about that. There was another question in there. What else am I missing? How am I? I'm doing fine. Kind of like being dressed in a suit this week. I got a dog here poking at me. Yeah. During the lockdown, they talk about a knuffel mat, or like either a sex buddy or just a hug buddy. Someone that you can, someone that can offer physical contact. Dog is not bad. That dog was the best. No, okay. Anyway, so that's how I'm doing. Get yourself a dog and pet your dog and cuddle if necessary, but then do wash your hands afterward. My dog will be walking down the street. She's so cute. People will come up like, oh, and then my dog will like lick them. Oh, I don't mind. And then I say like, yeah, her nickname is Super Spreader. And then I watch as they go like, oh, I should probably wash my hands. Like, yes, you should always wash your hands. Anyway, what do I think about Volt? That was the other one. Volt. I love Volt. Volt is this pan-European party. And, most, all other parties, if they are elected to the European Parliament, then they join some other coalition. in the European Parliament. You get your center, your left of center, your right of center, your far right, and your far left, and then splinter parties. But Volt is the only party that like started out, I guess, in European Parliament, and now they're going the other way. They're going to the national parliaments, and they're trying to build a pan-European kind of pro-EU movement. So yeah, I'm excited about them. I hope they can be the fourth member of the new Dutch coalition. And yes, Mark Rutte said yesterday, like, oh, maybe we'll go super right wing for Ja 21. Yeah, 21. Anyway, I don't buy it. I think it's just
Distraction.
yeah, it's old political posturing with the coalition formation session. Anyway, so that's what I think about Volt. Nazis, I hate those guys. Yeah, sure. Or Nazis, killing Nazis. There we go. Who's the latest Nazi party? Nazi party? I'm assuming you're referring to the producers. By the way, I love the role Higgins in Ted Lasso, but I also prefer Gene Wilder in the producers because Ted Lasso is a little. Get out of here. Sorry, I was paused there. Get out of here. Sorry, I was paused there for a minute. Anyway, here we go. Enlightened centrist, passionate moderates, as I like to call us. Okay, MMA Husky, hello. Says sitting at home makes me crazy. Now I'm used to work out 6 times a week, and this is just poop. Yeah, right. If you're doing MMA, you just gotta beat stuff up. Get a dog, beat up the dog. Yeah, Gene Wilder is pretty good. I'm wet. All right. In World War II, I guess that's what we mean by Wereldoorlog 2, WO2. All those black soldiers freeing Jews from evil Nazis, getting home to a white-only bench in the park, and their kid not allowed at school. Oh, what a gentle example you have come up with. There's this book, I think her name is it Wilkerson? And anyway, The Great Migration. So it starts out with post-World War I in America, where they had black African-American battalions that acted heroically on the battlefield in World War I, went back home to the Jim Crow South, and were not treated very fairly. So still dealing with that. And actually, I just heard a bit about how one way to create more unity in America that we're not talking about enough is mandatory national service, because it's been proven that ever since the desegregation of the military, it's pretty successful, and in getting people to work together, and not together, but like side by side as well. And anyway, we should do that more. Anyway, rimming ? I'm not gonna go there. Sorry. Let's see. The royals used to marry their cousins just to maintain blood parity. I don't know. Are you still on your cleanse? Looks like you were drinking Bavaria. I finished my cleanse. Thank you very much. I finished it last Tuesday, and I ate some oysters to celebrate the end of my cleanse. So I'm told by this like homeopathic guy, and I'm like, I don't know if I believe you 100%, but if the low alcohol and low sugar can reduce your amounts of like fungus and bacteria, then the oysters will actually there's an active agent in there, or like the probiotic that will eat up all of your naughty, that will basically help your immune system become an ally for getting rid of that stuff. And then your immune system can focus on the viral problems, which are that's the worst part. So anyway, I wasn't planning to get oysters, but I parked my bike for last week's YouTube live, and when I came back to unlock my bike, I realized, I left my keys in my bike. The way I realized that is there was a note taped to my bike seat, and it said, "Oops, you left your keys in your bike. Call this number to get your keys back." So I called the number. Turns out it was a woman working in the restaurant, the fish restaurant right next door. So I was like, well, I should buy something just to be nice. And they were selling oysters. Like, oh, that was my chance. So I got oysters, and that's how I celebrated the end of my cleanse. Good karma. I hope I repaid it. In fact, this past Sunday, I was walking the dog, and I saw a bike with the keys in it, and like a big fat keychain, like noticeable keys in lock, and you could steal the bike, and then you're like missing all these keys. So I didn't have tape with me, but I did have a piece of paper and a pen. So I kind of scribbled a note, like, here's my number, give a call. I'm going to take your keys out of your bike. So I waited for a couple hours, and then I didn't hear anything on the phone, and it was getting dark. So I actually made a point of walking back a couple blocks away with tape and a bag. And this time I actually said, tape on the seat of the bike. I've put, you left your keys in your block. Your keys are now located in this bag, which is hidden under the seat of the bike. And good luck. And I didn't leave my number. I took off the earlier note. I didn't, yeah. So I went back the next day and I checked, and the bike was gone. But now I'll never know. Was it, skullduggery? Was it malfeasance? Was it bad actors? Or or was it mission accomplished? I should have left my number on there, maybe. Anyway, not looking for credit, just looking for closure. But anyway, so all right, what else? I feel like the feed is still acting weird, and I'm over 30 minutes now. But there is one more question. All right, don't beat up your dog. Great. 5G chips are in the oysters. Exactly. Something completely different. Did you watch, Fran Lebowitz on the Flicks? Fran Lebowitz? No. Is that a documentary or Fran Lebowitz? She's the photographer. Annie Leibovitz, I know. But Fran Lebowitz. Oh, no, Fran Lebowitz. Oh, well, we'll work. I'll get to that. I'll let you know next week. And what was my experience with Dutch police? They're called politie over here, and you can't spell Dutch police without polite. So, yeah. No terrible experiences with Dutch police. Thank you very much. And my stumbling defense of mucky bottom feeders almost convinced me. You don't need to like oysters, but they do serve a purpose. So anyway, right. All right, I think I've answered most of your questions. Stay tuned this week for another video coming up. And maybe there will be a comedy sketch out of the old keys in the bike. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Schlipper. Thank you, Farkstein. Thank you, of course, Ziad, if you're still there. And who else? Now I'm thanking everybody. Jeez. Andy, good to hear from you. Spijkerpoes, of course. And ja, gezellig. Now we can all go find out what happened at the press conference. And as long as we're all going to stay on lockdown, I guess this is my only chance per week that I'm able to get out. Anyway, Nuke MTV. I like that one. All right, well, good. Thanks. Please subscribe if you haven't. Try to make the algorithm go bonkers every time. There's Nicole. All right, Dewey. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And, I'll see you next Monday or Tuesday. And thanks, guys. All right. Dewey.